Okay, thanks so much for joining us again on The Bright Side. We're talking brain health, nervous system health. Specifically, we're talking about a compound called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is technically called a neurotransmitter or nerve chemical. These are chemicals that are secreted from nerves to make things happen in the body. Acetylcholine is associated with various systems in the body. It's associated with brain health, especially as it concerns learning, as it concerns memory, as it concerns muscle movement. Many diseases that involve movement disorders, as well as issues with learning and attention, involve defects in acetylcholine processing. Acetylcholine, as the name implies, is a type of choline. Choline with a little piece of acetyl attached to it. Choline, as we've talked about many times in the program, and we'll talk about a little bit later, is a vitamin-like substance with tremendously important roles to play in the body, especially as it regards the health of the brain. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Acetylcholine, the nerve chemical acetylcholine, is associated with relaxation and contraction systems in the body. Sometimes it's involved in relaxation, sometimes it's involved in contraction. For example, it's involved in the relaxation of involuntary muscles, muscles in the digestive tract, muscles in the heart, muscles in the blood vessels, muscles in the circulatory system. Acetylcholine can stimulate other properties or other effects in the body. For example, acetylcholine is involved in deep, powerful breathing. So acetylcholine sometimes has stimulating effects, sometimes it has relaxing effects. In the voluntary muscles of the arms and legs, acetylcholine is associated with contractions in the face. Muscular contractions can be associated with wrinkles. When the activity of acetylcholine is blocked in the facial muscles, muscles are relaxed, facial muscles are relaxed, and wrinkles will be temporarily eliminated. You can actually go to a doctor and have a drug injected right into your wrinkles that will temporarily block the contracting effects of acetylcholine. This blocking effect is a kind of poisoning or a toxic effect, and it can be accomplished by injecting a very mild dose, a tiny, infinitesimally weak dose of a very powerful bacterial toxin, bacterial poison called botulinum. In the 1950s, researchers were looking for a way to improve the appearance and the symptoms of crossed eyes, and they began experimenting with using this botulinum toxin into the eye muscles or into the muscles around the eyes to help reduce the effects of the appearance of crossed eyes. Other researchers found that the same toxin, this botulinum toxin, can have a relaxing effect on facial spasms and on tics. Then somewhere around the late 1990s, I believe, a company called Allergan bought the rights to use this toxin, and they began experimenting with using it as a treatment for excessive sweating and for movement disorders and for different kinds of palsies, Bell's palsy, cerebral palsy, which are types of movement disorders. And then an interesting thing happened. Scientists who were experimenting with this botulinum toxin for helping folks who had various palsies or movement disorders, scientists began to notice that these patients who were being treated for muscular disorders and movement disorders with botulinum toxin, their wrinkles were disappearing. Their facial appearance started to look smoother and younger. So the scientists at Allergan said, hey, we got something here maybe. And by the late 1990s, dermatologists were beginning to inject the stuff directly into wrinkles with great success. And then by 2002, the procedure and the poison itself, the botulinum toxin itself, became officially recognized and approved by the FDA, and thus was born the famous multi-billion-dollar wrinkle-removing pharmaceutical known as Botox. That's what Botox is, folks. It's botulinum toxin injected into wrinkles, stopping the effects of acetylcholine, causing the muscles to relax in the face, thus disappearing or eliminating, or at least partially disappearing and partially eliminating wrinkles. Now, fortunately, the effects of Botox are mild, and perhaps less fortunately, at least from the folks who are getting Botox, they are only temporary. That's because at the end of the day, wrinkles aren't really caused by a problem with muscular contractions as much as they're caused by a biochemical breakdown in the production of collagen fibers, and there ain't no prescription drug that's going to help you there, with the exception of retinoic acid, which is actually a vitamin and a hormone more than it is a pharmaceutical drug. In any case, there aren't a lot of prescriptions that you can use to help stimulate collagen, with the exception of retinoic acid. And Botox doesn't do anything for your collagen. All it does is simply relax the muscles that contract or tighten when we get our wrinkles. That's why the look that you get from Botox just doesn't seem right. If you've ever seen somebody who has Botox, there's something off about the appearance. You may not have as many wrinkles, but the quality of the skin isn't going to change. And this juxtaposition, this comparison of lousy skin without wrinkles looks just a little bit off, a little bit strange. That having been said, as far as temporary or superficial and cosmetic effects go, Botox can be pretty effective. It lasts probably about 3 or 4 months. Then you got to get more Botox, etc. If you have a little bit of Botox, you may not notice it, or people may not notice that there's something that you've had a pharmacological procedure done to your skin. But if you have a lot of Botox, man, that looks really, really weird, really strange. And some of you know what I'm talking about if you've seen that look. Many of the effects of acetylcholine are balanced out by another nerve chemical called adrenaline. Remember, the body's always balancing things out. You've got things that contract, chemicals that contract, balanced out with chemicals that relax. You've got chemicals that cause openings, balanced out with chemicals that cause closing. You've got chemicals that cause vasodilation, balanced out with chemicals that cause vasoconstriction. That's blood vessel opening and blood vessel contraction. There's all this balancing that's going on in the body. Likewise, with acetylcholine, which is balanced out by adrenaline or epinephrine. Hang tight, I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I am Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Our number 855-660-4261. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Okay, so we're talking about the nerve chemical, neurotransmitter, which is a fancy way of saying nerve chemical, acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is balanced out in the body in typical body fashion, how the body balances things out. Acetylcholine is balanced out with adrenaline. Adrenaline and acetylcholine. Adrenaline is also called epinephrine. That's your get up and go nerve chemical. Acetylcholine is your relaxing nerve chemical, with exceptions. Adrenaline is your get up and go, fight or flight nervous system chemical. Acetylcholine is your relaxing nervous chemical. And they balance each other out. Now here's the thing. Acetylcholine, adrenaline or epinephrine, the neurotransmitters, these are involved with a part of the nervous system that's called the involuntary nervous system. The involuntary nervous system, technically it's called the autonomic, you can think of the word automatic. The autonomic nervous system or the involuntary nervous system controls various parts of the body, like digesting your food and detoxifying poisons, eliminating waste from your bowels or from your kidneys. The involuntary nervous system controls the heart rate and respiration. And this involuntary nervous system is distinguished from the voluntary nervous system. So you got two types of nervous systems. You got the involuntary nervous system that controls all the involuntary stuff that goes on in the body, blood pressure and the digestive system and such. And then you have the voluntary nervous system. That's the part of the nervous system that we control. Basically, it's muscular movement. Some people will call the voluntary nervous system the somatic nervous system, but we're just going to call these things involuntary and voluntary. The involuntary nervous system controls all the involuntary stuff in the body, and the voluntary nervous system controls the stuff that we choose to control. Now, as logical as this might sound, that you got involuntary parts of the body and voluntary parts of the body, as logical as this might sound on the surface, the fact that some things in the body happen voluntarily and other things happen involuntarily, this may make sense on the surface, but actually it's not entirely accurate. You see, the involuntary nervous system can become at least somewhat regulated by the voluntary nervous system. That means we can control, to some extent, more or less, for some folks more, for some folks less, we can control our involuntary nervous system via volition, via choice. We can choose to control our heart rate. We can choose to control our blood pressure. We can choose to control the involuntary aspects of our body. This is very, very important to recognize. We can learn to submit at least part of our involuntary nervous system to our voluntary nervous system. We can choose to lower our blood pressure. We can choose to increase digestive secretions. We can choose to slow down our heart. We can choose to improve a whole lot of the standard markers of health without drugs or doctors. This is how biofeedback therapy works, and it's very real, and it's something we can all learn to do, and it's something we should all learn to do. By sending our involuntary nervous system messages from our voluntary nervous system, we can control or we can improve almost every single marker of health or disease. We're actually doing it all the time. Just thinking about food, for example, will begin to activate the digestive process. Thinking about a lemon, for example, will begin to cause you to stimulate salivary juices. Thinking about a stressful situation can cause your blood pressure to go up or can cause your heart rate to increase. Under ideal circumstances, we want to be sending our involuntary nervous system messages of safety, messages of security. And these messages of safety actually turn on acetylcholine nerve activity. Messages via voluntary behaviors that we can consciously control, that we can choose to control, that tell the body that it is safe, will accelerate the healing process, will lower the markers of disease or reduce the markers of disease and increase the markers of health. Breathing deeply is one of the most powerful ways to activate this safety chemistry. By choosing to breathe deeply, we can send messages to the involuntary nervous system to tell the body it's safe. Relaxing the muscles in a hot bath or in a hot shower or in a hot tub, that's another great way to send the involuntary nervous system messages that the body is safe. That this will cause a lowering of the heart rate, a lowering of the blood pressure, an increase in the circulatory system, an increase in healing, better intellectual function, all by taking a hot tub, all by sitting in a hot bath, all by just taking a hot shower. All of these mechanisms that improve, that tell the involuntary nervous system that the body is safe can increase the markers of health, raise the markers of health, and decrease or diminish the markers of disease. Massage can do it. Reiki can do it. Hypnosis can do it. Pretty much anything that relaxes the body somatically, the muscles of the body structure, will turn on this acetylcholine relaxation response from the involuntary nervous system. Meditation is a great way. Even thinking kind thoughts and having loving feelings tend to activate the acetylcholine relaxation aspect of the involuntary nervous system. We should never underestimate the importance of these kinds of mechanisms of kind thoughts, of compassionate thoughts to ourselves first and to ourselves first and foremost when it comes to health. If we're deficient in a nutrient and we replace it, we can certainly begin to feel a lot better, but to really maximize health, all dimensions of living, spiritual, mental, emotional, as well as physical, have to be addressed. And that most especially involves a sense of safety. From a biochemical perspective, what we call the virtues are really neurochemical, nerve chemical strategies. These are ways that we can manipulate our autonomic or involuntary nervous system. We can hack into our involuntary nervous system by using kind thoughts, by using forgiving feelings, loving feelings. From a purely physical perspective, kind and loving thoughts and forgiving thoughts and feelings are hot baths and showers. And they're like deep breathing. And speaking of deep breathing, when it comes to using deep breathing to activate the relaxation aspect of the involuntary nervous system, you want to focus on the exhale. The exhale of the deep breathing process, loving feelings, hot baths, showers, all of these are mechanisms for activating the relaxation aspect of the autonomic nervous system, telling the body it's safe, and activating acetylcholine. Now, there's lots of things you could do from a nutritional standpoint, including using a very, very interesting B vitamin-like supplement, B vitamin-like nutrient called choline. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls, 855-660-42.
Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off of your entire order. and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
We travel so much, and having a fake TV, well, it gives added peace of mind.
Burglars look for houses that appear to be easy targets. But fake TV can fool even professional burglars into thinking someone is home watching television.
As a recent widow living alone, it gives me great peace of mind to set my fake TV near a window and know that passing motorists and pedestrians will think someone is home watching TV when I'm actually away from home.
Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet, just like a light on a timer.
And they're so easy to use. You just plug them in and they're ready to go. Plus, they're so affordable that we have one upstairs and downstairs.
Fake TV is only $29.95 with free shipping. Order your fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Great minds think alike. The network for the independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network. GC.
Welcome back to The Right Side. Got a couple lines open for you at 855-660-4261. On our next Bright Side episode, we'll tell you about the relationship between cigarette smoking, schizophrenia, and acetylcholine. There's really an interesting connection there. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, but just to give you a little hint, it turns out that schizophrenics smoke a lot of cigarettes, and there may be an acetylcholine relationship. I'll tell you what I mean tomorrow as we continue talking about the nerve transmitter acetylcholine, what you can do from a nutritional standpoint using substances like the B vitamin-like substance choline, and foods you can use to build acetylcholine or support acetylcholine. Then we'll tell you a little bit about something called DMAE, which we've talked about in the past. We'll talk about it as it relates to the skin. We'll do all of that tomorrow on The Bright Side. Time to hit our phones, 855-660-4261. Welcome to The Bright Side. Nancy from Maryland, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Gee.
Hi, Nancy. Yes.
I was diagnosed with diabetes 30 years ago.
Okay.
I have taken medications, and my control has not what it has, what my endocrinologist thinks it should be. So now I'm back on a basal insulin Lantus along with Novolog.
Yuck. Now
I take glimepiride, I take Glumetza because my stomach can't handle the regular metformin. I'm also taking Januvia.
Oh, my goodness, Nancy. You want to get off all those medications? We can help you. Type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, correct? I'm assuming
that's right.
Okay. Now, how old were you when you got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes? Because you sound kind of young.
36.
Okay, so, all right, here's the deal. Type 2 diabetes is when the body stops listening to insulin. And this is true for everybody out there with type 2 diabetes, and there's millions of people with it. You're in good company, Nancy. Lots of folks are dealing with type 2 diabetes, which is a type of resistance to insulin. The body basically stops listening to insulin. The reason the body stops listening to insulin is because it's been bombarded with insulin for decades, and over the course of time, the body just stops listening. Whenever something happens over and over and over again, the body tends to tune down its receptivity. It's kind of like when you go to a rock concert and the music's really, really, really loud. Over the course of time, your ears adjust to the sound of the music, and you kind of get less, your ears become less sensitive to the noise. Well, the same thing happens to cells. They become less sensitive to chemicals that they're bombarded with all of the time. So the trick to making your cells more sensitive to insulin is to reduce the secretion of insulin by eating less insulin spiking foods. This is the number one strategy and the most powerful non-medical strategy, the most powerful strategy that you could ever use for reducing your reliance on drugs if you have type 2 diabetes. Reduce your intake of insulin spiking foods. Now, the second strategy is going to be to sensitize your body's response to insulin with nutritional supplements. I'll tell you about that in a second. But first and foremost, simply by reducing your intake of fruit juices and breads and pastas and cereals and certainly cakes and candies and anything sweet, just by reducing your intake of these kinds of foods, you will begin to resensitize your body to insulin. It's very ironic that the American Diabetic Association tells you to eat many of these kinds of foods, especially what they call whole grains. I'm telling you don't want to eat those kinds of foods. How ironic is it that as we've had more and more input from the American Diabetic Association, we've had more and more diabetes. Clearly, what they're telling us is not working. And from a biochemical perspective, it can't work because whole grains and the kinds of foods that they recommend that you eat are insulin spiking foods. The more insulin your pancreatic cells are making, the less likely your cells are going to be to listen. So what you have to do is you have to reduce your intake of these foods. That move alone, simply by doing that alone, you're going to begin to resensitize your cells' ability to your cells' listening ability. They'll be listening better to insulin. Fasting can also help. Intermittent fasting can also help resensitize your insulin, your cells' insulin sensitivity. Now,
really?
The second, and that alone is all you need to do, really. There's more, but that alone will make a huge difference. The second thing you want to do is you want to start to take in nutrients that sensitize a cell to insulin, and there's many of them. The B vitamins are probably the most important, and specifically vitamins B1 and B3, maybe B12 and biotin as well, can have a resensitizing properties. That B1 is thiamine and B3 is niacin. You'll get all of those in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Personally, if it was me, I'd be throwing in 100 milligrams or so of timed release niacin, which you can get from a health food store. Vitamin B12, as I say, can also resensitize cells to insulin, and so can the B vitamin biotin, and the B vitamin-like substance choline can have that effect too. There's some amino acids that can have a resensitizing effect. Taurine and arginine stand out in importance, maybe a gram or two of arginine powder every day, and then maybe 100 to 500 milligrams of taurine every day can have a nice resensitizing effect. Then there are minerals that can resensitize cells' response to insulin. Probably the two most important are chromium and vanadium. Both of those are found in the Sweeties product. I'd be using a couple of Sweeties after all of your meals. Zinc is also extremely important for the sugar response. 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate is a must-have for everybody, really, but especially if you're dealing with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. You always want to balance out your zinc with copper, maybe 2 to 4 milligrams of copper. And magnesium is also stupendously important for helping the body with its insulin response. I'd be using the OsteoMag product from Longevity or taking a magnesium supplement, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day. Some additional supplements that can help you resensitize the insulin response. One of the most important is something called alpha lipoic acid, which we've talked about periodically on this program. 200 to 300 milligrams a day of alpha lipoic acid may be in your interest. And then working on the digestive system is always a good idea. Blood sugar problems follow very often digestive problems. So using probiotics and digestive enzymes and lecithin after meals, all the things we talk about for improving the apple cider vinegar, by the way, can be really helpful for diabetes. I'd be using apple cider vinegar in addition to being helpful for the digestive system. I'd be using a teaspoonful or a tablespoonful of apple cider vinegar after all of your meals. And then there was one more thing I was going to tell you. Oh, cinnamon, actually. Cinnamon and fenugreek are two herbs or spices. Cinnamon's a spice, fenugreek is an herb. Both of those can have a nice balancing effect and help improve insulin sensitivity. So there's tremendous options for you, Nancy. And the neat thing about everything I just told you, no side effects, zippo side effects, unlike and they're cheap too, unlike your prescription drugs, which are loaded with side effects, very unpleasant side effects. They'll accelerate the aging process. They'll increase the rate that your body breaks down. They'll cost you money. You'll have to deal with a doctor and a pharmacy and an insurance company. None of those things will happen when you use nutritional supplements or the herbs or the apple cider vinegar. And they're all wonderfully effective, wonderfully effective. Nobody has to be condemned to diabetes or diabetic symptoms if you practice good lifestyle strategies, laying off of insulin spiking foods and using the supplements. Got to move on, Nancy. Anything else you want to add or ask?
Well, I'm also on a statin drug.
Well, they're poisoning you, Nancy. Your doctor is not being very nice. Is it the same doctor who's giving you all these medications?
Yes.
Well, I don't want to get myself all mad and freaked out because that's the only thing that's going to happen. That's just what doctors do. All right? That's how they operate. You don't have to comply. Let them poison themselves or their own family. You don't have to be poisoned. Thanks, Nancy. Got to move on. Appreciate your call. Gosh, that makes me so angry. One doctor is putting this poor woman on all of these medications. I wonder if that doctor told Nancy about vitamin B1 or B3 or B12. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with more of your phone calls. 855-660-4261 is our number. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. 855-660-4261 is our number. Let's go out to California and welcome Jim to the bright side. Welcome, buddy. What's going on?
Well, I've got a friend that's got pulmonary hypertension.
Okie dokie.
Suggestions for him?
Yeah, lots of stuff. Pulmonary hypertension is high blood pressure that's related to the respiratory system, and it's especially connected to the stress response, as we were talking about earlier on the program. First thing that you want to do is you want to relax the body. Lots of ways to do that. Mental relaxation strategies, emotional relaxation strategies. I'm not going to get too much into that. But as I was talking about at the beginning of the program, hot tubs, hot baths, breathing techniques, all of these can help relax the body and they can help relax hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension, as it regards the lungs, can be very, very serious, by the way. It's nothing to mess around with. From a nutritional standpoint, reducing your intake of fast-burning sugars can help relax pulmonary hypertension issues. Using the nutrients that help you stabilize sugar also have a relaxing effects on hypertension. On the pressure in the pulmonary arteries. That's what pulmonary hypertension is, specifically magnesium. I'd be using around 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of magnesium a day. You want to take higher amounts of magnesium at nighttime because it does have quite a significant relaxing effect. Vitamin C is super, super important for all respiratory issues, and it also has antihypertensive effects. I'd be using 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams minimum of vitamin C a day, but anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams is not too much vitamin C. You'll get vitamin C as well as magnesium in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine product from Longevity. Essential fatty acids can also be helpful for all respiratory issues and all hypertension issues. I'd be using the omega-3s from the Ultimate EFAs. Omega-3s have a more relaxing effect, have a significant anti-inflammatory and relaxing effect. Omega-6s have the opposing effect. You need them both, however, and I'd be using the Ultimate EFAs, probably 9 of them a day, in addition to your entire Mighty 90, of course. When I talk about magnesium and I talk about essential fatty acids and vitamin C, I'm not diminishing or marginalizing the importance of the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. They're all important, but these 3 in particular, and a couple more I'll tell you about here, have some specific relevance when it comes to respiratory health as well as being antihypertensive. Vitamin E is super, mega important for the lungs and for the heart and for the blood vessels. You're not going to find vitamin E in foods very well, so you might want to get on about 400 international units of vitamin E a day. Vitamin E also has a nice blood thinning effect, and pulmonary hypertension can sometimes cause blood clots, which can really be a problem. So keeping the blood flowing smoothly is also very, very important. Vitamin E can help you with that. Vitamin A may be helpful as well. Vitamin A is also good for all respiratory health issues. Around 20,000 international units of vitamin A. Lots more you can do. N-acetylcysteine can also be helpful. I'd be using maybe 500 to 600 milligrams of N-acetylcysteine. Most importantly, please understand, pulmonary hypertension is serious, serious business. Pulmonary hypertension can cause problems with shortness of breath and chest pain, racing heartbeat, and as I say, blood clots are possible, if not likely, over the course of time. And the worst thing that can happen is heart failure, and that's the most common cause of death in people who have pulmonary hypertension, and it is not insignificant. There's no cure necessarily for pulmonary hypertension, but you can reverse it if you do lifestyle changes, especially relaxation techniques. And if you're smoking, obviously that's something that you want to eliminate, and then using nutritional supplements can also help. Anything else, my friend?
Unless you will let me ask about a second friend.
Okay.
That has burning feet.
That sounds like that's a common symptom of something called neuropathy, which is just a fancy way of saying
he's been checked for.
It doesn't matter if he's been checked. He's got burning feet. This is the craziness of being checked and having tests. Forget your chest. Forget your checks. Forget that the doctor gave you a clean bill of health. I talked to a guy a couple of days ago, and he says the doctor told him he's healthy as a horse, but he wanted help because he had spinal scoliosis. His spine was dissolving, but the doctor told him he was healthy. This is the silliness of going to the doctor to have your symptoms looked at. The guy's got burning feet. There's nerves in the feet. Burning is caused by nerves that are there's something wrong with the nerves. Period. It's not unless he's lighting a match to his toes. He's got burning feet from nerves. Why would the nerves be causing burning? Because they're inflamed. That's technically called neuropathy, inflamed nerves, and it typically will happen in the hands and in the feet, in the extremities. Why? Because blood is not getting to the extremities and toxins are not being drained. Why is blood not getting to the extremities and why are toxins not being drained? Because there's something that's getting into the circulatory system that's causing clogs and clots and closing the blood vessels. That always means, at least first and foremost, that you need to check the digestive system. Secondly, you want to work with blood sugar. Those are the two major causes of neuropathies: malabsorption of nutrients from digestive problems and blood sugar and insulin issues. Those are the two main causes. Now, you can bypass some of the digestive difficulties or malabsorption problems by using liquid nutrients. And indeed, this is what you want to do for burning feet or any kind of neuropathy, Jim. Liquid nutrition, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine in high doses, and any kind of liquid B vitamins would be helpful. That's like vegetable juices and soups, and vegetable soups and vegetable juices, because those are going to get you some high concentrations of the B complex, as will the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. The Ultimate EFAs may help you, omega-3 essential fatty acids, and then electrolyte minerals, which are liquid minerals, magnesium and potassium, and calcium are the three that stand out the most, although sodium and chloride and a few other ones are important as well. But the most important are going to be magnesium and calcium and potassium. You'll get those in soups and vegetable soups and vegetable juices, and you'll also get those in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You may also want to try just some Osteomag. And then there's that product which I'll be talking about here in the coming days, which is a transdermal magnesium called MagnaSoothe. And some people get some nice relief from topical magnesium in the MagnaSoothe. And you may want to have him either soak his feet in MagnaSoothe. This is more for symptomatic relief. Soaking his feet in MagnaSoothe, or just rubbing some of that MagnaSoothe transdermal magnesium cream on his feet. That might help him as well. Okay, Jim?
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you, my friend. Have a beautiful day, buddy. All right, let's see. Let's go to Truth Raider in Oregon. Welcome, Truth Raider. How you doing, my friend?
Good morning, Pharmacist Ben.
Good morning.
Well, I'm a little bit sick, but I'm getting a bit better.
What's going on today?
I have some type of pathogen that's in the back of my throat. It gives me a little bit of an irritation. I think that's some type of a burning kind of irritation, a dryness irritation. I think it has a lot to do with chemtrail spraying, but I'm treating myself accordingly. It's getting better. But anyway, hey, I had two questions for you.
Sure. What's going on?
Since you mentioned it, I don't know if you can give the details about how you go about doing this, but if I got that membership to be on Ben's team,
yes,
how many people would it take for me to gather together
3
for you to make a special trip to come out and speak to us?
Come out to Oregon? I love Oregon. Yes. Where in Oregon are you? Portland?
I'm up here in the big city, the Rose City.
What's it called?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I love Portland, man. That's one of my all-time. If I didn't live in Colorado, I very well might live in Portland. Portland, or if you get me 20 people, I'll come out. 20 to 30, I'll come out. I'd like to have 100 or 200, but if you get 20 to 30 people, I'll come out there just because I love Portland and because you're a good friend.
Excellent. Yeah, that would work great because I have 3 groups. I have at least 15 or 20 people.
Oh, if you can get the more the merrier. But I'll come out to Portland for 30 people. 30 people.
I'll talk to them about it. I'll bring it up to the group. I'll talk to the coordinator and bring it up to the group and see. I have a couple of pamphlets that I've gathered up from the time from getting the BTTs over the several months and several orders that I've made. So I have at least 3 brochures to pass out to people.
All right. Well,
the product
let me know.
They're called tools, I guess. They call them tools.
Sales tools. Correct.
Yeah, sales tools. Anyway, getting to the question. The main question is this condition that they're blasting on the internet all over the place. They have it in the ads corner, and it pops up from place to place. It's called this condition called candida.
Candida is a yeast. Candida albicans, white candida, is a yeast. It lives in the body anyway. It's part of our environment, but typically it'll be balanced out by bacteria. This is one of the major roles of probiotics and good bacteria in the gut, is they balance things out. Remember how I was talking at the beginning of the program, there's all this balancing things that happen in the body. Acetylcholine and epinephrine, magnesium and copper, opening and closing, contracting and relaxing. Omega-6s and omega-3s, and candida and good bacteria live in this kind of balance where they each control each other. However, when we drink chlorinated water, when we eat antibiotic-laden food, when we take antibiotics, all of these can conspire to kill off our probiotics, our good bacteria. The net effect is candida overgrowth. On top of that, candida loves sugar, of all kinds of sugar, but especially fruit juice and fruit sugar, all kinds of sugar, really. So the more sugar we eat and the less effective our probiotics or good bacteria are, the more likely we are going to be dealing with candida. So a couple things for addressing candida. Number 1, correct digestive difficulties and imbalances. Make sure you're on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, eating fermented foods, and laying off refined carbohydrates and sugar. There's a great book called The Yeast Connection by Dr. William Crook that talks all about how you can use dietary strategies and nutritional strategies to eliminate candida. Thanks so much for your call. Karl, the Truth Raider. Got to move on. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about nerve chemicals, and we'll tell you about the relationship between cigarette smoking, schizophrenia, and acetylcholine. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.